From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Thursday, December 1st, 2022. I'm D. Ray Knight. This is what's going on. A group of Republican governors, including South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, submitted an open letter on Wednesday urging congressional leaders to remove the COVID-19 vaccine mandate on members of the military. The governor said in the letter that the mandates create a national security risk by reducing the number of people willing and able to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces. The military has required vaccines since Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin issued a memo in August of 2021 making vaccines mandatory for all service members, a requirement that the memo called necessary to protect the force and defend the American people. The Attorney General has taken action to help missing indigenous people. Amy Rose has the story.
South Dakota's Attorney General has announced that he has filled a position to coordinate efforts from state, tribal, and local law enforcement agencies to tackle alarming rates of indigenous people going missing or having their deaths remain unsolved. On Wednesday, the South Dakota Attorney General's office announced that Allison Morissette and Mary Beth Halsworth had started their roles in the office on November 28th. Morissette will become the state's first missing and murdered Indigenous persons coordinator, while Halsworth will fill the role of South Dakota Human Trafficking Coordinator. The Attorney General's office has put a new focus on crimes against Native American people, addressing problems Vargo described as interrelated, human trafficking, and missing or murdered Indigenous people.
In national and international news, Congress is moving urgently to head off the looming U.S. rail strike. The House passed a bill Wednesday that would bind companies and workers to a proposed settlement reached in September that failed to gain the support of all 12 unions involved. The bill now goes to the Senate for consideration. It would impose a compromise labor agreement brokered by the Biden administration. That agreement was voted down by 4 of the 12 unions representing more than 100,000 employees at large freight rail carriers. The unions have threatened to strike if an agreement can't be reached before a December 9th deadline. President Biden is meeting with his French counterpart. Amy Rose has the details.
Presidents Joe Biden and Emmanuel Macron are celebrating the long-standing U.S.-French relationship, but these are friends with differences. The French president isn't hiding his displeasure with aspects of Biden's signature climate law that Macron said will have an enormous negative impact on European countries. Biden is set to welcome Macron to the White House on Thursday for a visit that will conclude with the first state dinner of the Biden administration. Ahead of Thursday's meeting, Macron made clear that he and other European leaders are deeply concerned about U.S. incentives that favor American-made climate technology, including electric vehicles.
Now the latest on the war in Ukraine. Russia's foreign minister has accused the West of becoming directly involved in the conflict in Ukraine by supplying it with weapons and training its soldiers. Sergei Lavrov also said Thursday that Russia's strikes on Ukraine energy facilities and other key infrastructure that have left millions without power, heating, and water were intended to weaken Ukraine's military potential and derail the shipments of Western weapons. Lavrov claimed that the barrage of missile strikes was intended to knock out energy facilities that allow you to keep pumping deadly weapons into Ukraine in order to kill Russians. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Mostly sunny with a high of 58. Windy tonight as a cold front rolls in with a low of 23. And that was your Daily Slice for Thursday, December 1st, 2022. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D. Ray Knight with Amy Rose. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D. Ray Knight. Have a great day.